Sometimes our worst nightmares become reality, and there's nothing we can do to change that. This is the story of a ruthless crocodile. It was a normal day for the villagers by the river. Their days usually went by without incident, so they enjoyed their lives to the fullest. One morning, one of the cows went down to the river to drink some water. Everything seemed normal. The sky was blue and the sun was shining brightly, warming the earth. But that day, however, the peace would not last long. When the cow lowered its head to drink from the river, it happened in an instant. One moment the cow was drinking by the river. The next, the water exploded. A massive crocodile burst out, its jaws clamping shut around the cow's neck. With a crack that echoed across the fields, the idyllic scene turned into a terrifying spectacle in the blink of an eye. People were alerted to the danger and the cow started screaming at the top of its lungs. It thrashed wildly, trying to free itself from the clutches of the crocodile. Its hooves dug into the muddy bank, but the crocodile was too strong. The weight of the massive reptile dragged the cow down into the water. People watching this horrifying sight started screaming and running away. The cow was dragged deeper and deeper into the water. It struggled to stay afloat, but the crocodile wouldn't let go. The villagers dropped everything and ran. Some shouted in panic, dogs barked, children cried, and dust rose into the air as dozens of people ran across the fields. As the crocodile dragged its prey further into the water, the villagers watched helplessly from the shore. They knew they were witnessing a battle they had no hope of winning. The crocodile's powerful jaws clamped firmly around the cow's neck, its eyes gleaming with predatory hunger. As it tightened its grip, the cow's desperate moans echoed across the still water. With a final surge, the crocodile pulled its victim under the surface and vanished into the murky depths. The current churned red as the cow struggled against its captor. Each pull from the crocodile brought it closer to the river's edge. The villagers gathered, helpless, watching a fight they had no chance of winning. One man grabbed a stick, another threw stones, but nothing slowed the beast. It was like they were fighting against an angry god whose wrath they could not appease. The sight that met their eyes was both terrifying and heartbreaking. The once placid river had turned into a churning mass of red water, reflecting the blood that stained its surface. Amidst the struggle, the cow managed to turn its head, its eyes wide with terror, its tongue lolling out in pain. Its breath, hot and labored, formed white clouds in the humid air. The villagers stood frozen, the image seared into their minds, a testament to the raw power of nature. The crocodile surfaced again, its head crowned with reeds and twigs. Its eyes, cold and reptilian, surveyed its surroundings before disappearing back into the water. All they could do now was watch and wait, hoping for a miracle that seemed increasingly unlikely. Suddenly, the most unexpected thing happened. The other cows, instead of running away from the commotion, turned back. They charged toward the river, bellowing loudly and stomping the ground with their heavy hooves. The villagers froze, stunned by this sudden turn of events. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The cows were coming back to help. Each cow that arrived made the river a little less menacing, their combined strength giving hope where there had been none before. Had the cows lost their minds? Was this madness or strategy? The villagers wondered. Among them, one old woman, her face lined with years of wisdom, whispered, "They are doing what they must. This is their way." The young girl, confused, looked at her. "But why are they going back to that monster? Don't they know it's too dangerous?" The old woman's gaze was steady. "Because they have something the others don't. They have heart." Back at the river, the crocodile hesitated for a moment, its grip on the trapped cow loosening for just a second. That was enough. The trapped cow used every ounce of strength it had left to jerk backward. At that crucial moment, the villagers saw their chance. Rushing in with ropes and poles, they shouted, hit the water, and did anything they could to distract the predator. The crocodile thrashed violently, making the river boil around it, but the crowd didn't stop. The air was filled with the shouts of men, the sound of splashing, and the deep guttural growl of the beast. Suddenly, as if understanding the gravity of the situation, the cows joined the fray. Their lowing mixed with the men's calls, creating a symphony of desperation and determination. The crocodile thrashed and twisted, trying to break free from the growing net of ropes and bodies. It snapped and snarled, but its strength seemed to wane. For a moment, the rope tightened around its powerful tail, anchoring it to the riverbed. With a Herculean effort, the villagers held firm, their faces grim with exertion. The minutes stretched, each second a lifetime. Finally, with one last furious roll, the crocodile let go and disappeared beneath the surface. Silence descended on the riverbank, broken only by the ragged breaths of the villagers. They had done it. Slowly, cautiously, the cow stumbled back onto the bank, bleeding but alive. The villagers erupted in cheers, pulling it to safety, tying its wounds and calming the herd. The river returned to its tranquil state as if nothing had happened. The rest of the day was a blur of activity. The injured cow, its wounds tended to by the village women, grazed quietly while the men discussed the events by the river. Stories spread like wildfire, carrying tales of the vicious crocodile and the miraculous intervention of the cows. Later that evening, after the adrenaline had subsided and the initial euphoria had worn off, a profound sense of gratitude settled over the village. They had witnessed something extraordinary, something that transcended the boundaries of species and instinct. That night, the entire village gathered together. The flickering light of the bonfire danced in their eyes, reflecting the emotions of a day that had pushed them to the edge of fear and despair, and then lifted them up to hope and triumph. An elderly man, his face etched with the stories of a life well lived, spoke first. His voice, though raspy with age, carried the weight of his experience. Today, we saw something rare, something that happens once in a lifetime. We saw courage. He paused, his gaze sweeping over the faces gathered around the fire. Courage doesn't always wear a human face. It can be found in the most unexpected places. He continued, nodding towards the grazing cows. Our cattle, they didn't run away from danger. They faced it. A young man, his earlier fear replaced by admiration, asked, "But why? Why did they come back?" The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling in the firelight. "Because they understood that we needed them. Because they knew that together we had a better chance." He looked back at the silent herd, a profound sadness in his voice. "We almost lost one of ours today. We could have lost all of them." He turned back to the villagers, his voice ringing with conviction. "In the face of that, any fear seems small, any obstacle surmountable. When we stand together and fight, when we don't turn away from danger but face it head-on, that is when we truly live." As the night deepened and the fire burned low, the villagers sat in thoughtful silence, the old man's words echoing in their ears. They had indeed witnessed something special, something that transcended the ordinary. And maybe that is the lesson. There are moments in life when fear tells us to run, but survival, victory, even miracles belong to those who stand together and fight back. So the next time life pulls you toward the deep water, ask yourself, will you struggle alone, or will you call for those who will fight beside you? Will you face the current, or will you let it carry you away?